And Jenna, I'm a vegan freak and you are too.
When we were kids, the bugs and the birds fascinated us. They were just like us. And we were taught they slammed the door. It's not cool to feel too much. But some of us break free. I'm a vegan freak. That's what you think. I'm a vegan freak.
Hello, Freaky Deakies.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
Welcome to show number 45.
Yeah, 45.
Yeah, cool.
Good number. That's a lot. That's actually a lot for a podcast. I mean, you know.
Yeah,
I'm proud that we made it to 45.
we're getting there.
Yeah, we are.
Despite our little break there, we haven't had a show.
We had a subscriber show.
We had a subscriber show,
Yep.
but I think we're going to be back on a regular schedule now.
Yeah, we will. We're gonna get back. That's all.
Yeah.
We got a lot of stuff going on for today's show, so we get moving here.
All right. Well, we have to mention that the audio at the beginning of the show
Oh right.
was Liam, who is
Yeah.
a vegan freak.
He is indeed a vegan freak. He's awesome. He's a little vegan freak.
He is, and we have some embarrassing audio from his dad later on in the show.
Nice. So, but I suppose with parents that are as cool as his, I mean, what could you expect but to have a cool little vegan freak?
Exactly.
So, yeah, he was cool. He was at the meetup. He'd run around. He'd call everybody, "You're a vegan freak." No, you're a vegan freak. It's really cool. So, good stuff. So, yeah, what do we got going on today's show?
Well, let's see. We've got a couple announcements, and then we've got little anecdotes, and then we've got a book review, and then we've got some news articles and commentary on some recent things in the media, and voicemails,
Typical stuff.
shit like that.
Shit like that.
Okay.
But the voicemails are not shit.
No, I'm just saying, just stuff.
Stuff. We got stuff on the show.
Right.
So, yeah. Okay. I guess we should begin by doing some announcements, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. You have all those, don't you?
I do. First one comes from Veronica in Madrid, Spain. Not Madrid, New York.
You could say that a little better now, couldn't you?
Madrid.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, you live
Unlike
there. Madrid.
Madrid. Unlike there is a Madrid, New York, but they pronounce it Madrid.
Yeah, it's
It
horrible.
grates on my ears.
Yeah,
Okay, it's not far from where we live. Okay, anyway, she is a vegan artist from Spain, and she sent this email, and she's doing a project, and she needs our help. So she says, "I've been listening to you lots lately, and thanks
Listening
us
to what?
to us lots lately.
Oh, okay.
And thanks us. Anyway, she's doing a receipt installation project. She says, thought those bits of paper called receipts you get from the supermarkets were useless. Not anymore. Collect them, ask your family and friends to give you theirs, pick them up from the floor, not caring if people stare at you. Anything goes. They're real treasures for me. I need them madly because I want to cover a whole room with them. I'm asking people to please get receipts from supermarkets and other food stores and send them to me by postal mail. I already have hundreds, but I need thousands. The walls of a room will be completely covered with thousands of receipts, so the viewers will find themselves surrounded.
Wow.
The food products that contain animal-derived ingredients will be underlined. Shopping receipts are the proof, real, symbolic, and legal, of what we consume, an activity that has an underestimated effect on non-human animals.
But so many of our listeners are vegan, and they're not going to be able to send in receipts with animal products in them.
Right. So she's having a combination of vegan and non-vegan ones.
Ah.
And
Did I miss that?
I don't know. I don't think I mentioned anything.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
But I had an update on her blog that she has been getting a lot of vegan-only receipts because, well,
All right, you
we're all
wicked
vegans.
Omni scum. We need your receipts.
If any of you live with Omnis, which I know a lot of you do, or Omnis, get them to give you your receipts and then put a little mark on the non-vegan items.
There you go.
So she knows what's not vegan. Okay, and if you want to send them to her, send her an email at veronicaibarra.com. I will put that in the show notes so you know how to spell it.
Cool.
And she'll give you her mailing address. Okay, so she says they must contain primarily food products. I need both vegan receipts and non-vegan ones. It doesn't matter if they are wrinkled, dirty, badly printed, or what country they are from. Make a small pencil mark on the side of the products listed are not vegan.
So you couldn't send in your receipts for Coke and hookers, for example?
No.
Not that you ever get receipts for that anyway.
This is true.
What kind of drug dealer is like, here's a receipt. Let me give you paper documentation of your illegal activity.
So So once she has enough receipts, she's going to show the installation piece at a good art space, probably in the UK. An explanatory text will accompany it. And she says that if you contribute, she will thank you by sending a photograph or postcard of the installation and a cool exclusive pin.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good shit.
It is. And you should check out her blog, too, which is really cool. It is a gang of bunnies stole my idea.blogspot.com.
That's a lot. A gang of bunnies stole my idea.
Yep.
Cool. We have a bunny in our studio.
We do, thanks to Glitterous.
Yeah, we do.
He's watching over. He's a sad little bunny.
He can't really see.
No, because of Dre's tests.
Yeah, he's a Dre's test bunny.
Yes.
It's a stuffed bunny.
Yeah.
Not a real bunny.
No.
It's a fake bunny, but it looks like one of the white bunnies you would see in a, in one of the Dre's tests.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a lab bunny. It's really sad.
But a good reminder.
But yeah, it's a good reminder, and we have Bunny in the studio. What else?
Let's see. We've got an announcement from Woodstock Animal Sanctuary. They also need your help. They want to open to the public, and they cannot do so until they fix their road. And they said it's not a sexy kind of thing to donate to, but they need $6,000 to fix their road before the town will allow them to have visitors.
Bummer.
Yeah, which sucks. But they said that they have a generous anonymous donor who will double the first $6,000 they receive. So if you send $25, they'll make it $50.
Cool.
So
your money actually working its way through. Exactly.
So you can go to their website at woodstocksanctuary.org and find out how to donate.
And don't we have something about Wikipedia and the entry for carnism?
We do. If you remember back to when we did an interview with Melanie Joy, she talked about the word carnism.
Right.
Did you want to say something?
No.
You look like you wanted to say something. Okay. Anyway, apparently the term carnism made it into Wikipedia.
Well, anyone can put anything in there, really.
Exactly. But immediately they started getting anti-AR spam.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're trying to delete the entry.
Well, that's kind of stupid because there's a body of literature around it that she's created. I mean,
exactly.
Go ahead.
So it's not really clear why they feel like they can justify deleting it. Maybe it's just not well known enough, or maybe it's receiving too much anti-AR flack. So nobody's quite sure why. But they need to hear from us as to reasons why they should keep it.
Okay.
So Melanie says that. Well, I'll just read what she says. Okay. Carnism was added to Wikipedia, and because of anti-AR responses, the editors are considering deleting the entry altogether. This is not only a violation of the use of Wikipedia, an attempt to silence pro-animal voices, it is blatant political censorship. The editors are asking for opinions regarding whether or not to remove the word. Please write in. You need to see the entry/definition first at http://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/carnism so that you can make the most powerful argument for its inclusion. Okay, then go to...
well, you can put the links in the show notes.
I'll put the links in the show notes and tell you where to go. And it says there's a little edit button that you need to click.
Well, there
apparently. You go. So that's that. And nobody's quite sure why. And it says an update is that she says that they look like they are going to delete it. And she's not sure how much time and effort we should give into this. But if you hear it the next day or two, maybe just make comments saying it's worthy of inclusion. That kind of thing.
Fuck yeah, it's worthy of inclusion.
Yeah.
I could see someone like Dino go in there and just going completely ballistic because he loves the word carnist. He uses it all the time.
He does. I know I hear a lot more people using it now.
Well, it's a great word because it describes how, we have a philosophy behind veganism, but carnism describes how there's kind of an ideology and philosophy behind eating meat, when it's kind of like the taken for granted thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and yeah, she also says that they put it up on Wikipedia. What strikes me, though, is that within minutes of my posting it, people were modifying it to read in a very different manner, i.e. term coined to make meat eaters feel ignorant and guilty or something similar to that. Then wrote to the editors to delete it.
But that actually shows exactly her point. And her point is that it's an ideology, and she's calling it out as an ideology, and it's being destroyed. So the same thing happens when people talk about whiteness, right? Mm-hmm. In the United States, you're not supposed to talk about whiteness because... we talk about how it is to be an oppressed member of a minority, but we rarely talk about whiteness as an oppressive category, just like we rarely talk about carnism as an oppressive category. Mm-hmm. And the moment you start talking about whiteness, all the white people get upset, and I know because they rain shit down upon me when I start talking about whiteness. Mm-hmm. I've gotten into a lot of trouble for that.
Yep.
So whiteness is dangerous, carnism is dangerous, but that's precisely why we need to start talking about these fucking things.
Exactly.
All the fucking time.
So go to Wikipedia, add your 2 cents, tell them not to delete it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I want to say something. I got something really cool in the mail this week. I bought it. But I got something really cool in the mail.
Yeah?
Yeah, I got a Food Fight skateboard deck.
Oh, yeah.
It is really cool. So I haven't had a skateboard in a very long time, but this skateboard deck is really nice. So Food Fight, it on the bottom, it's a white skateboard deck mostly, and it's got this graphic on it of a guy, kind of hitting a little move. It says Food Fight in this kind of cool, fast-moving font. And can you grab it?
Yeah.
You can read. You should be able to move. You've got plenty of cable.
Yeah.
Oh, you're taking off your headphones. It's a cool thing. It's a cool deck. And at the bottom it says, kill coping, kill curves, leave the animals alone. So if you're into skating, there's a nice deck there. I imagine they have more than they never may begin with, but I like that, and I want to give a plug to Food Fight because I like the stuff they're doing. I like this skateboard deck's good. So the only thing that I'm not into is that when I used to skate, right, the decks used to be kind of wider and shorter, and this deck is kind of long and thin like all of them are now. And I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know.
But whatever. I've only ridden the long thin ones very rarely, but when I was heavy into skating in the 80s, way back when, the decks used to be kind of fatter and shorter, and I used to like that a lot.
Cool.
So I've ridden a couple of these longer ones, and I tend not to like to feel them as much. But that has something to do with how loose the trucks usually are on them, because they're usually like these guys who have them on campus, and they're like real loose trucks because they're usually high when they're riding them, just kind of drifting along, like, dude, I'm totally wasted, just riding my skateboard.
That's true. I never see any skateboarders around the area like doing anything other than sort of just drifting.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't actually have like skaters around who actually skate and do tricks and shit. So
Right.
Anyway, they usually have the trucks really loose, and they're usually like just drifting along. I don't know, whatever. So moving on. One other thing we got to talk about here is that at podcast.veganfreak.com, we have to shut off the comments on each entry, and we have to do that because we're getting a shitload of spam at them, and the content management system we use doesn't have any really good way of getting rid of the spam. So I'm shutting off the comments there. If you want to comment, you have to email us at podcast@veganfreak.com or go to our forums and make a comment there. And we'll be sure to include them in the show notes. However, for the subscribers out there, you can comment on each show at the subscriber site that you know of. So, and for the subscribers, I'll also be sending you a little link in email thing today about how to make everything kind of work really well together with iTunes and stuff. So keep your eyes open for an email from Bob. So anyway, we're shutting off the comments. Sorry, but I'm just tired of, porn, casinos, Viagra, and shit like that.
I feel like I've been getting more email spam lately too. Like my spam catcher's not catching it, and it's the weird kind of semi-poetic spam.
Oh, they do that all the time to get past your
exactly.
filter. Actually,
That's exactly why they're getting past it.
I have a program for you called Spam Sieve. You should have, because I don't use it anymore because I don't use my Mac all that much anymore.
That's true.
So you can have it. All right, but moving on. So I want to play. What do you want to do?
Yeah, play that thing.
I want to play that thing. I have a little jingle for you. So I'm going to play this.
Hi, this is Dan from Abolition Radio. I hope you're enjoying listening to wonderful
Vegan Freak Radio.
If you'd like to hear more vegan anti-capitalist radio, tune in to Abolition Radio online at abolitionradio.blogspot.com. Thanks, and enjoy the rest of
Vegan Freak Radio.
Thank you, Dan. We appreciate that.
He sent it to me a really long time ago, and when I was going through all the stuff, I found that, and I forgot that I'd had it. So I thought I'd play that for Abolition Radio, for Dan and Jenna over at Abolition Radio. Dan's got a Jenna, and I got a Jenna.
Yes, indeed.
I got a Mac G4 mirror drive doors way back when. Then Dan had to go get a Mac G4 mirror drive doors. I got a Jenna. He had to go get a Jenna. Fucking copier. Anyway, Dan and Jenna do a pretty funny and good show, and they fucking eat on the show, which makes me want to kill them. But beyond that, they do a really good show. So I don't mind plugging them. If you have a promo for your show and we like it, we'll play it for you. Your show, not the promo. Although we have to like the promo too.
True.
Okay, anyway.
Right. All right. I just have two anecdotal things that I wanted to relate to our listeners.
Well then, oh, really?
Yes.
Makes me want to scratch my chin. Well, why don't you relate your anecdotal?
Well, first of all, we're always talking about Drina Burton on the show because she rocks. And we had her on. We had an interview on with her, and we talked about her cookbook in the cookbook review show.
Right.
And I just wanted to add something, is that I finally made her chocolate chip cookie recipe.
Oh, yeah.
From Vive le Vegan.
When I wasn't here.
Yes.
They were good, though.
They were. Oh, my God.
They were really
I have
good.
tried several times to make chocolate chip cookies since going vegan, and they came out okay.
Yeah.
They weren't great.
Yeah.
I mean, they tasted okay.
It's true.
But these were fucking awesome.
They were really good.
They're incredible, and I think they're the best chocolate chip vegan recipe out there.
I'm telling you, it's the Canadian vegans. They got it hooked up.
Yep.
You know, you got Sarah Kramer and Drina.
So if you're jonesing for some chocolate chip cookies, go check out Drina's recipe, Vive le Vegan, and make them. And it's nice because they're kind of a small batch. It's only like one tray worth of cookies, which is perfect for me because I didn't want to have them lingering around the house too much, and because I've been trying not to make baked goods anyway.
Right.
But I broke my promise to myself, and it was like, fuck it. I have like just a few chocolate chips left in a bag that I needed to use, and therefore I made cookies.
While I was in Jesus Land in Kentucky, you made cookies,
I made
and while
cookies.
you were out of town, I made white rice. That's right. Like white on rice, baby.
Exactly.
Well, it's just because we always get into these arguments, which many of you who've listened to the show in the past know. Jenna's a rice Nazi.
Yeah.
She gets on my case about rice all the time, which she should, because the doctor said to me, you should not. The doctor, what's wrong with you?
I just pinched myself with my zipper.
Jeez, you sure are special.
I know.
Yeah, I was sitting in your doghouse and you make this like face, like, contorted, like
I'm
pain.
more like a.
At least it wasn't your dick.
This is true.
I've actually done that. My,
It's the Frank or the Beans.
it was the Frank, unfortunately. Oh my God, it was utter and total pain. I mean, and the worst part is I was at my parents' house, so I was peeing. And I don't know, I was wearing boxers, like the real loose kind. And I was in a hurry. I like pulled it up and
You just got the dog all excited.
yeah, well, it was really horrible. What the fuck was I talking about?
I forget.
God, I can't believe I closed my zipper in my Frank's at one point. In my Frank, I don't know two.
I hope not.
Well, you would know.
I would. Yeah, I haven't seen two, so whatever. Okay. Anyway,
Fuck, what were we talking about?
I don't know. Cookies, rice.
Oh, rice. You being a rice Nazi.
Right, yeah.
Well, anyway, you're a rice Nazi, and when you left, I made white rice. And then I felt kind of like I was cheating on you. And so when you get on my case about white rice, I'm always like, well, you like to make cookies, and like you give me shit for white rice, but cookies are no better. Like cookies are worse.
I know.
So you made cookies when I was in Jesus Land.
I did.
I was in Kentucky.
I did. And this past weekend, my parents came to
Kentucky.
visit.
What?
My parents came to visit, and they brought us vegan treats.
That was really good, too.
Sure, of course, really good.
Yeah. Vegan treats in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Indeed.
Good place, man.
Excellent shit.
Someone sent us an email to tell us, too, that they had soft serve, which is
I
cool.
know.
So.
Someday.
Yes, well. We have nothing like that here where we live.
No. We can't even get soy milk on our coffee.
Well, yeah, we tried that today. Well, you couldn't even get coffee in your coffee. They had this, like, all the real coffee was gone, all the, like, Colombian or Guatemalan roast, all the, slave-traded stuff. And then they had this, like, triple nut fucking crap. I don't know.
Raspberry, yuck.
Yeah, horrible.
Anyway.
All the flavored coffee was left. And that shit, flavored coffee. Fuck flavored coffee. Anyway, let's move on.
Okay. And one other story I want to tell.
Do it.
About how I met an ex-vegan. We write in our book about the co-op and how co-ops tend to be places for like middle-aged, hippie types.
Which we always get shit about.
Of course.
We always get shit about that.
The people that we meet there are middle-aged hippie types. And I was checking out the other day, and I was talking to the cashier because I know the cashier. She was vegan. One of the handful of vegans.
She
up there.
is vegan.
She is vegan.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Was.
Oh, is vegan. And I lost my train of thought. I corrected my grammar, and now I'm all screwy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Anyway, apparently the co-op does these kind of theme potlucks occasionally,
Sure.
and they actually did a vegan-themed potluck, which we did not attend because, well, you were sick.
Yeah, and I'm just not a social kind of guy.
That too. Which was really cool. And, of course, people are talking about the challenge of making vegan food. But apparently, like, 30 people were there.
That's a lot.
And so I'm checking out at the co-op, and this woman comes up and starts talking to one of the other people about how lovely the potluck was. And so I asked her. I said, "Oh, are you vegan?" And she's like, no.
No,
Just
not
like that,
vegan.
like, no. And she said, I used to be
Used to be vegan.
And then she goes on this whole long explanation about how she used to be vegan.
Well, what was her explanation?
Oh, I don't know. I started tuned her out. And then I just sort of looked at the cashier and we were just like, uh-huh.
It's too hard. I miss my
know.
milk.
She's sitting there buying goat cheese and...
Fuck.
I know. But it's the ex-vegans, man. I always wonder what makes people stop.
I don't know. Well, maybe they're in it for the wrong reasons to begin with.
That could be.
They do it just because, like, ooh, it'll make me look cool or something. Or
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because dietarily wise, it's easy.
It
Especially
really is
now.
easy.
It's super easy.
It is.
Even we live in rural America, and it's super easy up here.
We live in one of the most rural counties in the entire northeastern United States.
Yeah,
There's no question about it.
yeah. With the exception of the Adirondacks.
We live in one of the most rural counties in the Northeast.
Yeah.
So, and we can do it here.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need any special fucking ingredients.
No, you just need vegetables.
Vegetables.
So I always wonder what makes people stop. I mean, I guess it's that people forget why they went vegan, probably.
Maybe.
They just don't think it's, worth it. I don't know.
But the idea grosses me out. That's the thing.
I know. Like, how can you go back to eating that stuff once you know what's in it? Like, how can you go back to eating meat and killing animals and eating dairy and killing
Well,
animals?
maybe she's a vegetarian. You're ex-vegan
Yeah.
woman.
Yeah, I don't know.
I doubt it, though.
I don't know.
She probably
But,
eats meat.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who the fuck knows? Well, ex-vegans are the worst.
Yeah. They are.
If I had the cricket noise, I'd play it.
Okay, but that's all the stories I wanted to relate.
That's all the stories?
Mhm.
That's all you got?
That's all I got.
That's all you got?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, if you've met ex-vegans, run-ins with ex-vegans, we'd love to hear from you. Podcast at veganfreak.com. You can also call our voicemail line at 267-295-1944.
Mm-hmm.
Extra credit if you call drunk.
We've got a few of those coming up later.
Yeah, we are definitely not straight edgers.
No.
No. Not that, well, whatever. I won't even go into it.
Nope.
I don't want to make people angry at me.
Good idea.
Okay, so
All right.
moving on. What else do we got? Book review?
Book review. Do you want me to read the book review?
Since I can't read,
Okay,
yes.
I'll read the book review. We have here a book
Actually,
review.
you have to read it in Australian accent.
That might be difficult. I can't do accents.
You have to.
I can't.
When we were at the meetup, didn't someone go and ask Colin to say that this isn't a knife or whatever?
Yeah.
That's so shame. He must get tired of that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so,
go ahead.
Yes, Colin has this lovely Australian voice, and I do not. But Colin was nice enough to read this book that was sent to us, but we didn't have time to read, and write a book review of it. And the book is called Animal Instinct, and the author is Dorothy H. Hayes. And he wrote out a book review, and I will read it. Because Colin is traveling now and does not have access to places where he can record things. So,
He could have called the show.
yeah, I know. But that cuts you off after 2 minutes. And anyway.
No, we could have called him and had we've got this Telos
True.
One
I
thing.
didn't
We
think
could have
about that.
recorded it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
whatever.
too late. Okay. Anyway, Animal Instinct is a page-turner. I progressed through the 232 pages in less than 2 days, leaving me searching for another easy-to-read yet socially aware novel. It includes good social commentary, at times detracting from the story itself, that is worthy of reflection and consideration for all involved in animal protectionist movements. The crossover between hinted details of campaigns and, at times, purposefully distorted representations that fit well within the story provide somewhat of a primer to those in the abolitionist movement and the challenges on many levels, socially as well as with welfarism-based approaches. Animal Instinct also goes much further through highlighting many of the broader social/interpersonal challenges that permeate into animal organizations. These range from subtle comments on individual actions, implications to strict vegetarianism as opposed to veganism, through to direct illustrations of exploitative practices in many of the constructed hierarchies of the animal protectionist movements. Alongside these references to what those involved in some level of animal protection will be aware, Animal Instinct includes detail, including facts and figures, of animal abuse for those who are newer to the issues. The impetus for inclusion of these is clear, and at times this works well, yet at others it distracts from the story. This is perhaps the weakest aspect of the novel. I also found the conclusion a little fast in coming and short on detail. These are minor issues on the scale of things. Readability is very high. Much of the inferences to the workings of animal protectionist organizations, whilst names are changed, with several real-life people melded together into specific individual characters and the timelines a little distorted, indicate many lessons we can draw from reading this novel. Those with more detailed inside knowledge of past campaigns will be able to decipher many of these multiple personalities and also locate specific references to well-known or less individual traits. Deborah Hayes' experiences and knowledge gained through working both as a journalist and for the organization Friends of Animals are clear, as indicated in her multiple real-life persona characters and many of the events in the book. This does not, however, afford reference to Animal Instinct as autobiographical, as some reviews provide, any substantive basis. Further, some reviews do little to fully consider the exposed exploitative nature of people within the animal protectionist movements to the point of both falsely stating them and clearly misrepresenting them. For me, this clearly highlights the painful lack of awareness of broader social issues and ills by many engaged in animal protection, something Animal Instinct touches on. The direct and often not so direct references in Animal Instinct to real-world situations, if skewed a little time-wise, include the impacts of seminal works like Peter Singer's Animal Liberation, Tom Reagan's The Case for Animal Rights, and Gary Francione's Rain Without Thunder, in the context of direct influences they have. This provides a mean for everyone concerned with animal protection, whether long or short-term, to learn and draw from. To finish with, an indicative of another strength of Animal Instinct, Dorothy Hayes does attempt to place the exploitative practices of some in the animal protection movement within specific contexts. This does not appear to be as providing a means for justification of such actions, rather to understand, clearly indicating one of the many challenges we continually face in working towards holistic social change. Such change is necessary and essential for the liberation of all species. This is one aspect of the animal instinct, even if not fully realized by Dorothy Hayes herself, that is of immense value. And Colin also like to add that if anyone wants to read this book, he's more than willing to pass along his copy to anyone interested.
Cool.
So
we will link to the site for the book in our show notes. And I just want to say, that's a nice book review.
It is a very good book review.
That's a good book review. It looks at the ins and the outs of the book. It very fairly and accurately assesses a book. It deals with a book in what I think is a just manner. Unlike the book review that I think poor Dan Pizer got over at Super Vegan. The book reviews he got.
Because, Colin actually read this book.
Yeah. Unlike the one reviewer at Super Vegan who clearly did not read his fucking book. So, sorry, I'm a little bothered by it. You know? It's like, it seemed to me to be a little whiny.
Trite.
And trite, you know? And all the fucking parentheses, too. I mean, did you see the number of parentheses?
I did.
It was ridiculous. Dan is right. He should donate some of his royalties so the woman can, to a fund so she can stop abusing the parentheses. Now, anyway, enough about that. But this, I think, is a solid review. And I read some of the book myself, but I didn't have the time to read the whole thing. So it's good. We have another review coming up, I think, from Rich Beebe at some point of another book we have in the queue. So we'll keep that in mind for when it comes along down the pike.
Indeed.
Cool.
So thank you, Colin.
Yeah, thanks for that, Colin. And I like the way that he made sure that the review linked into these issues of kind of animal-human exploitation and the movement. Very cool. So it's good to support vegan authors out there.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Right. Now what?
Right. Do you want to play a song now, or do you want to play a song later?
Now!
All right, let's take a little break.
All right, hold on. We're using a different setup this weekend,
Yeah, we've had some technical issues.
Oh, I'm about ready to throw my Mac out the window.
That's a shame.
Yeah, I know. I really thought one day when last week you would come home and see it on the front lawn. I thought it would see it on the front lawn. Kernel panics, bad RAM, and I've had to now record on a different computer, and I'm playing the tunes from an iPod. It's just a mess. So I'm going to center myself and just push out all the bad energy. Just gonna take a moment, center myself, and just relax. Chill it out. Okay, brothers and sisters, are we all cool?
I think we're all cool.
Are we all cool?
Indeed.
All right, now that you're calm, let's play a little bit of hardcore for you here. It's coming. Takes a little. If you were centered, you aren't going to be anymore. By the way, this song, let's see. think it was conflict. I have the lyrics somewhere. This is conflict. No question about it. Now you put your foot in it. Enjoy. And I'm going to shut up. Really. But this is boring anyway. You'd want me to talk over this, right?
Jesus Christ, never out of control. There's 3 million animals dead. God, Father, anyone, help us please! Join the futurised wreck. Meanwhile, Brigadier loads his prick with a bolt and he takes command of the coal. Make a forgive me. Send my body to heaven. I'm begging. Please pray for my soul. Oh, shut your bloody fucking mouth and fuck you too. Am I right, Callus? I've seen through you. We didn't shout mouth when they told us to. We're not like you who follow suit. Why shut your mouth? Because I've told you to. You put your foot in enough. You don't know truth. You're telling me. No, I'm telling you. The cattle barn and cops in crying your I couldn't give a fuck. How many animals slaughtered? The industry of breed. Economic wealth does it say? Blind ambition. The open mouth to be. Fox hunts on hold the boss and join the cold. It's for the good of the country. The countryside lines, they march, they roar. Soon there won't be nothing left to kill anymore. They say, Mr. Blair, you're so unfair. I think more like a worthless cunt. Hey, slowly fake stuff, you should know about the electric litters rust. Ventriloquist as if he takes the piss. Got a word of warning when he has you on miss. Shoots his bolt into the sick and the old. To retain power, to brainwash mind. Terminate the system, make this side blind. Regain parliament, problem resolved. Don't dare come around to big politics. Have you forgot what you've done? We ain't your top of the list. You are what you eat, it's clear on the cover. Your blood's unknown, the economy suffered. The tier 3 million, pitifully weak. Find your manifesto, your issue, you could. As you well balls, I'll bring this melting pot. Remember, realise that's all you've got.
All right, so that was conflict. Now you've put your foot in it, and has some pretty good lyrics. What I like about the song is it says cunt quite a lot. But yeah, I know all the feminists out there are going to be angry at me, and you should be, because cunt's a horrible word. Cunt. No, it's not. I really like to say it, actually. It's like the last frontier of cursing. Cunt.
Yes, because it is so offensive.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, some of the lyrics in here are pretty solid. It talks about how, another cattle farmer coughs it. People cry at the altar. I couldn't give a fuck. How many animals slaughtered? The industry of greed, economic will to succeed, a blind ambition, the opening mouths to feed. Fox hunts on hold. Their masters join the cult. It's for the good of the country. Killing, control. So, nice. Solid stuff.
Indeed.
You need to talk now.
I'm sorry.
No.
I talked a lot earlier, so now I'm just like, okay.
You didn't talk that much.
I know.
Our balance of talking is uneven. I usually talk more than you.
This is true. Okay.
I'm going on strike.
Don't go on strike.
I'm not.
This is the Bob and Jenna show.
It's the Jenna and Bob show.
Okay. Cool. Now we have some news articles, I think, we want to talk about. Various things that people send us. People sent us a lot of links, like, within the last week.
Yeah, we'll get to them.
Which is awesome. So we couldn't get to them all this week, but we picked out a few.
And we appreciate that, too. We like to hear from folks. We will get back to all of you who write to us. It just takes us a while.
It takes us a long time. And I just got back to Colin today, and he sent me an email, like, at the beginning of August.
Oh, boy. We're not usually that far.
No. But, if I don't respond to email right away, it gets lost, and I'm an idiot.
We're trying to find a system that we can use where we can actually keep track of the email we get and make sure we don't lose any.
Yes.
But that's a difficult thing to do, too.
It is, because we found the system. It doesn't really work.
No, it fucking sucks.
So, I don't know.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. All right. I got an article. This one's sent to us by Misha Mishap. That's really hard to say.
Misha Mishap?
Yeah, because you want to say Misha Mishap.
Misha Mishap.
Because that's what it looks like on the page. It's 2 SHs, but the first one's Misha and the second one's Mishap.
Oh, goddamn tricky English.
And this is kind of our doubling as our If You're Not Vegan Yet segment this week. And meat is a global warming issue, and this article is on Alternet.
You hear that, Prius drivers? That's what, I'll let you talk.
It's going to come up in the article, and I'll read to you part of this article. There are many human activities that contribute to global warming. Amongst the biggest contributors are electrical generation, the use of passenger and other vehicles, overconsumption, international shipping, deforestation, smoking, and militarism. The U.S. military, for example, is the world's biggest consumer of oil and the world's biggest polluter. What a fucking surprise. What many people do not know, however, is that the production of meat also significantly increases global warming. Cow farms produce millions of tons of carbon dioxide and methane per year, the two major greenhouse gases that together account for more than 90% of U.S. greenhouse emissions.
You hear that, you liberal Prius drivers out there? You meeting liberal Prius drivers? Sorry.
According to the United Nations Environment Program's Unit on Climate Change, there is a strong link between human diet and methane emissions from livestock. The 2004 State of the World is more specific regarding the link between animals raised for meat and global warming. Belching, flatulent livestock emit 16% of the world's annual production of methane, a powerful greenhouse gas. Exactly. Farting cows. The July 2005 issue of Physics World states, the animals we eat emit 21% of all the carbon dioxide that can be attributed to human activity. Eating meat directly contributes to this environmentally irresponsible industry and the dire threat of global warming. Additionally, rainforests are being cut down at the extremely rapid rate to both pasture cows and grow soybeans to feed cows. Not to feed humans, to feed cows. The clear-cutting of trees in the rainforest, an incredibly biodiverse area with 90% of all species on Earth, not only creates more greenhouse gases through the process of destruction, but also reduces the amazing benefits those trees provide. Rainforests have been called the lungs of the Earth because they filter out air by absorbing carbon dioxide while emitting life-supporting oxygen.
That's not what President Reagan said.
Nope.
Do you remember? He said we need
I
to cut down the trees because they ate up all our oxygen.
Yeah.
I think we should just cut down the fucking trees anyway. Who needs them?
Yeah, who needs it?
Damn trees.
I'm not going to read the rest of the article, but I do want to read this one part. He says, geophysicists Gideon Eschel and Pamela Martin from the University of Chicago concluded that changing one's eating habits from the standard American diet to a vegetarian diet does more to fight global warming than switching from a gas-guzzling SUV to a fuel-efficient hybrid car.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Tell that to all the people that shop at Whole Foods in their little Priuses. I think it's good that there are hybrid cars out there, but I think they become a status symbol of like, ooh, look at me. I'm not consuming as much as you. Like, I think they have that status symbol aspect to them, and that I'm probably offending 8,000 people out there right now. But you know what? I offend everybody. I said cunt earlier. I probably said retard at some point, which I didn't mean to, but did I?
No, you didn't.
Oh. Well, anyway, I just did. So
there you go.
I don't know. It's nothing personal. I don't really hold anything against any one of you in particular out there.
Of course not.
But I don't know.
Yeah, so there's your If You're Not Vegan Yet segment. Yet another aspect of the environmental degradation that is being caused by the standard American diet. And actually, this is one of the things that people critiqued about Al Gore's movie because it did not include any of this in it.
Well, of course not. Because Al Gore likes his prime rib like anybody else.
Yeah, he comes from a family of farmers. So.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I wish I had a grenade launcher right now. Really. Like, I wish I had a grenade launcher. Not for Al Gore. I mean, I don't really care about Al Gore. I think he's ineffectual. Like, totally serial. But our neighbor, maybe you can hear it if you listen really carefully. Listen. If you have headphones on, you might hear that.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you can't hear it, let me tell you what it is. It is his four-wheeled forklift with tractor tires on it that are 4.5 feet high, 4 of them. And he drives this thing around the fucking neighborhood, and it drives me insane. You've heard me complain about it before. I'm going to complain about it again. It drives me insane. I can't stand it. Our windows are closed, and I can hear it. And I want, really, to blow the thing up with a grenade launcher.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, FBI, that's satire. I don't mean it. I really don't want to blow it up with a grenade launcher. Nor would I. Ever. Nor would I ever encourage anyone to do that. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just feeling... I'm all full of piss and vinegar. I'm grumpy about shit.
There's a lot of shit to be grumpy about.
I guess. And I have to start classes again this week.
Yes, back to work tomorrow.
I have to go meet parents tomorrow. Like, that's so not my job. I did not become a college professor to go meet people's parents.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just not my job.
No.
But whatever.
Okay.
Are you going to take care of my little whatever. You know, I don't know. They usually have some kind of snooty name. So. They all have last names that sound like first names. No, wait. First names that sound like last names.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like Carter.
Carter or Chester or... I don't fucking know what their names are. Isn't anyone just named fucking John anymore? You know?
Nope.
Not really.
You know, I never have any students named Bob.
Of course you don't. It's because, I don't know, some people are creative about naming their kids, unlike my parents. See if they're listening. I'll get the nasty phone call from them. If you don't like it, Mom and Dad, call the voicemail. No, I'm just kidding. I don't mind my name, actually.
It's a palindrome.
It's a palindrome, Bob and Bob. It's, same forward and backward. I want to talk about the gay sheep.
Go ahead.
Somewhere I saw this. I can't remember where. Out there on the interwebs.
Is this the article?
That's the article, but you can't read it.
Oh.
See, look, there's a big box through it.
Oh.
See?
Well, it's not my fault.
No puedes. Okay, so what I have here is the webpage. And what it says is that, let's see here. There's a researcher, Charles Roselli of the Department of Physiology and Pharmacology at OHSU School of Medicine, and Frederick Stormshack of Oregon State University's Department of Agricultural Sciences. They conduct research on rams, intact male sheep, in parentheses, to identify their sexual orientation. Every year, more than 200 sheep are given quote-unquote preference tests, then coded female-oriented for straight and male-oriented for gay. The project, which is funded through 2008, then exposes the sheep to a variety of hormone manipulation experiments in an attempt to alter their sexuality. Almost immediately, animal rights activists from national and local groups began speaking out against Roselli's work, some calling his research sexual eugenics. Now, I think that sounds pretty right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not only is there a problem here, they're experimenting on 200 sheep every year, which they're doing, but they're looking for a way to change the sexual orientation of the sheep. I think that's a problem.
Yeah.
Like, personally, I think if you're born gay, you're born gay. You're born straight, you're born straight. Why fuck with it? You know what I mean?
Right.
And to me, it smacks of that whole thing out there from the Christian right that, you know, you can be cured of your gayness. When in fact, you know, it's like that. It's like we were watching Mr. Show, and they had this little segment on it. It's called Good News, and this guy on here, it's like, we're going to talk about the good news, you know. And it's like this guy who's really like, you know, looks clean cut, and he has another guy come on, and he, you know, this guy valiantly fought his homosexuality, and it's in 1982, and then it's like, and he slid backward and has him partying and sucking someone's dick, and then, you know, and he's climbed back up the hill in 1984, and it goes through all these different years of him kind of quote unquote, you know, coming out of his homosexuality, being a straight man, when in fact you just can't, right? So I have a problem with this little experiment on so many levels, because not only does it fuck with the animals, but it also takes as one of its research assumptions that in fact it would be interesting and useful to change the sexual orientation of an animal.
It's disturbing. Yeah.
Then you move that into sexual orientation of a person. And why? Why would we do that?
I don't know.
You know? Like, why? Why can't we just build a society that can put up with people or tolerate or create opportunity for people who have different sexualities? Why do we have to try to change it?
I don't know.
Well, it fucking pisses me off.
I know. I agree. It's ridiculous.
Pisses me off, man. So, yeah, surprisingly, PETA has come out against this. I say surprisingly because they seem to be for every other kind of animal experimentation, pretty much. Not really. But, you know, you come on. Realistically, you have found PETA on the side of many different issues on which you'd be like, why are they for that? You know, like they're for slaughtering animals in shelters.
True.
Didn't they give a Proggy Award to Temple Grandin?
They did.
Do you know who Temple Grandin is? Well, Dan and Jim talk about Temple Grandin a lot, but if you don't know who she is, she's an autistic woman. We talked about her book on the show.
We did.
Oh, God.
Long
our
time
second
ago.
or third
Yeah.
show, probably. And she's autistic, and she uses her autism to understand the state of animals. You know, like to kind of be in their position and put herself in their shoes. Well, they don't have shoes, but, you know. And she has used that to design more intelligent slaughter systems for slaughter. I think that's a real problem. Like,
It's very
you
problematic.
understand how animals are, so you're going to help kill them better?
Yeah.
That's like, hey, I'm a vegan, I'm a leftist. I'll help you understand how vegans and leftists operate so that you can bust up vegan and leftist activism or kill them, so you can kill them better. You know what I mean? It's like fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
So anyway, PETA actually went after them for this, which is surprising because they are so people think PETA is so out there and like crazy and radical, but in fact, I think they're one of the more conservative movements in terms of animal rights stuff, you know. But they went after him for it, and I just think it's a real problem. I just don't like it. It's such a fucking waste. You know?
I know. It is. It's very disturbing.
So, $3 million in grants for this shit, too.
Lovely.
Well, yeah, you know, somebody's out there like, well, we can't have them gays around, you know, and they're going to find a way to get rid of them.
Yeah.
So, I probably offended so many people now. I don't care anymore. I really don't. No offense. I'm going to stop now. You talk.
Okay. Okay. We got this. It's highly ironic that someone sent us a link to this article because I wanted to talk about it on the show. Amanda sent this link to an article, and it's a really long article, so I'm not going to read much of it at all. And it's called Hog Wild, and it's from the Houston Press. And she says that it talks about these events. It's a hog dog rodeo. And
hog dog.
Essentially what goes on is that they capture these feral hogs, and apparently there are quite a lot of them in the southern United States. And they capture these feral hogs, and they do this kind of rodeo thing where they'll let the hog loose, and they'll send dogs after the hog, and it's this big contest to see how quickly the dogs can, entrap the feral pig, and how quickly they can bay it and keep it at bay. So it's really disturbing. And it's so funny because that she sent that article because I had just been reading this week this back issue of the New Yorker from December last year that I had set aside to read a while ago, and then I lost it, and then I found it again, and this whole article about feral pigs. And the article then ends up talking about these hog dog rodeos, and one part of the article is interesting because he interviews one of these guys who goes and hunts feral pigs, and apparently it's quite difficult to hunt feral pigs because, as we all know, pigs are intelligent, and they are quite good at evading capture.
Figs are not intelligent.
Figs, I know, pigs.
Oh, you were trying to say
feral pigs. Figs.
Figs are okay, though. We can eat figs.
We can eat figs.
No problem with figs.
No. And so that's why they use dogs, because the dogs have a lot better chance of doing it because they can use scent to pick up. But they basically have to have packs of dogs to go hunting with these pigs because they need some of them to find the pigs, they need some of them to howl when they hear the pigs, and then others to basically capture the pig. And this guy was talking about how they had this one really nasty pig, and the pig killed two of his dogs because they have tusks. And he slashed the dog's throat. The pig slashed the dog's throat, and he was so upset about losing his dogs that he, had this whole revenge, and he got all these other hog hunters out, and they captured this pig, and now he has the skull on his mantle.
Fucked up.
Yeah, like how can you love this one set of animals so much, that the deaths. He was still choked up about his dogs dying, and then, this other animal who just happens to be wild and apparently tastes good, so you have no sympathy for that animal whatsoever.
Messed up.
Yeah.
But that's the way it is, man. We always
is.
have these multiple sentiments about animals, right?
Right. So if you want to learn more about these, I will put up a link to the whole big article that Amanda sent. But I wanted to read part of this New Yorker article because I think it's really interesting. And apparently these hog dog things are family affairs because in the picture of this article from the Houston paper, there's kids running around.
Cruelty usually is a family affair.
Exactly.
Rodeos, circuses.
Yeah. So it talks. The end of the New Yorker talks about this man carrying his daughter on his shoulders. This first time that she had been there. Okay. And it describes the scene. The first pair of bay dogs entered the arena at the far side of it, a quarter circle around the fence from the hog's gate. The dog's holder bent down and took the clips at the end of the leashes. Skinny boys climbing on the hog pen banged it to get the hog to move into the chute. Somebody lifted the plywood door. A boy leaned forward and jabbed the hog through the fence bars. The hog came out into the arena and began to trot along the fence's perimeter. The dogs, suddenly released, went streaking towards him. In their many straps and bucklings, they looked like a SWAT team, striving faces pointing eagerly at the hog. From her high view, the little girl looked at the dogs at the hog. Her mind took a second to understand what was going on. Then, in a tone of the greatest emergency, with an authority that cut through every noise and rang above the assembly, the little girl cried, "Run, pig, run!" Some people laughed, the way a crowd usually does when a child makes a remark that everybody hears. Some people said, "Aw," as in sympathy. The little girl, seeing that the pig had nowhere to run to, began to cry, and her father lifted her down and comforted her. She cried louder when the pig squealed. A woman standing nearby excitedly took up the girl's cause, saying, "She's right! What are they doing?" and so on, until her neighbors shushed her. For a moment we all hesitated, uneasy and off balance. Then we returned to the business at hand. And that's just an amazing illustration of the kind of things that people go through to like block it out. Like you see it and people are like all of a sudden realize like take something like an innocent little girl to remind people that this is wrong.
But they have to beat it out of they don't beat it literally out of the kid, but they have to make sure the kid doesn't go too far with it.
Exactly. And that's why everybody shushed the woman who said, she's right. And then everybody looked uneasy and then they went about their business because, oh well, this is what we're here to do.
Of course.
And I think it also is an interesting shows why it's so hard to go against the grain.
It is hard to go against the grain.
Because you have so many people in your group there that are saying, no, you're not allowed to think like that.
Right.
And people say, all right. And
this
go
is
back
the
to
role
it.
of hegemony in society.
Mm-hmm.
Hegemony is like if you think about the ways in which we come to understand our common sense, our popular notions about the way in which the world functions, this is a hegemonic function. Mm-hmm. And hegemony creates the boundaries of what is real and what is possible. Mm-hmm. So right now the hegemony, of course, there are plenty of hegemonies in the plural, but the one hegemony that is, I think, most relevant in this case is the hegemony of carnism. Mm-hmm. It's a hegemony of we eat animals. They are there for us to eat. They're there for us to destroy. And anything that goes outside, well, why would you ever think about an animal as a separate entity? Why would you ever think of them as someone that can feel or think or love or know? That is the kind of thing that hegemony excludes. Mm-hmm. And so we're fighting against the hegemony of kind of the carnist mentality. And that's exactly what's going on there. They're trying to crush out any kind of alternatives to the hegemony.
Exactly. And in the creation of communities, one of the defining characteristics of community is what it is not.
Yeah.
Like exclusion is also a point of creating community in addition to inclusion.
Fuck
so you
yeah.
have all these characteristics of a community that says, okay, we believe this, and if you don't believe that, well, then you're not part of our community.
What I want to know, what other podcast on the internet can you hear the word hegemony and cunt on the same show?
Not many.
Hey, man. Cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's also interesting about how they shut up, like this little kid who has this instinctive voice of, that's wrong. We're using one animal to be cruel to another animal, and we're doing these horrible things, and why are we doing this? And it's just wrong. And that then, we should shut her up.
Yep.
Yep.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
So, I want to talk about something, too.
Okay.
We got our copy of Clamor magazine this week. We subscribe, and Clamor is our partner in distribution. They help us fulfill our orders. So if you order from Tofu Hound Press, our online store, the order is actually being shipped to you by Clamor. So we have a good relationship with Clamor, and I enjoy their magazine quite a lot. But the newest issue, which we just got, has an expose in it, or kind of a report on American Apparel. Actually, it's got a couple articles on American Apparel. And I was getting ready to read this thing, and I thought, oh, Jesus, another complaint, because I've read all the complaints about American Apparel, and some of them seem to have merit, and some of them just seem to be, I don't know, whatever. But I read the articles, and they're very compelling. They go after American Apparel for a number of reasons, for its sexism in its ads, for its kind of appeal to what they argue is kind of a hipster sexuality, right? And I get that. And what I find, I think, most disturbing, though, about American Apparel is that this is one of these companies that I think there are a whole host of out there that are essentially marketing fake ethics, right? They're marketing themselves as an ethical company, but it's a big fake. It's a marketing ploy. Mm-hmm. And in reading the article, it seems incredibly clear to me. I mean, this is a company that wants to keep labor in the U.S. They pride themselves on having non-sweatshop labor, but they bust unions. Or they try to bust unions, or have tried, right? Mm-hmm. So they actually fight against unionizing the shop. They fight. There have been a number of complaints about, of course, issues of sexual harassment from the CEO of the company, Dov Charney, I think is his name. If I have that right, I think I do. And So there's a lot of problems with American Apparel. And one of their comments on Clamor's blog, if you can, it's really cool. They actually have they have the whole section up as a PDF at clamormagazine.org/blog. And you can go there and see. And, in doing this, right, in going after American Apparel, now they're threatening to sue them. Right? American Apparel is threatening to sue Clamor, which I think is really ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And I think everybody needs to read about what goes on with American Apparel, right? I think we need to know about this particular ethical company or unethical company, and the one that claims to be ethical but is not. And one of the cool things is that Mike, a listener and subscriber to our show, actually left a little comment on Clamor's blog. And he says, "Dear Clamor, at the first outset, I could not believe you were attacking American Apparel. With the loss of so many jobs due to NAFTA and GATT, I really liked that I could get high-quality goods from American workers. I felt the same way, actually. Needless to say, I was shocked and appalled to find out about their union-busting tactics. Clamor, you have broken my heart, but opened my eyes. I will never buy an AA garment again, at least not until they are union. Mike Lemons, USWA Local 1014, Gary, Indiana." So I thought that was really cool, Mike writing in, and I completely agree with Mike. Mm-hmm. And I think there's this whole trend out there of marketing these fake ethics. And I'm not going to go off on a very long Whole Foods rant, but it immediately, and the article itself makes these comparisons too. It compares American Apparel to companies like Whole Foods, companies that are selling this kind of ethical notion of what they are. But when in fact, when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, they are really not all that much more ethical than the regular capitalist pigs that are out there.
Yep.
And I think this is a key point with Whole Foods. And people have called Whole Foods the Walmart of natural foods. And, Whole Foods workers have had a difficult time unionizing. Mm-hmm. I think they've only been able to unionize at one store, and that was, of course, broken up. Or fell apart. I don't know which. Let's see. What does it say here? Despite a hostile anti-union campaign carried out, the company workers voted 65 to 54 in favor of union representation, and they affiliated with UFCW, and that is in, I'm pretty sure, where is that? Madison, Wisconsin. So sure, that's in Madison, Wisconsin. So that's one thing. And what the company did was they came out with this kind of libertarian tract, called Beyond Unions. And the thing is that Mackey himself is this really, I think many of the progressives out there who shop at and love Whole Foods imagine that, John Mackey is some leftist, but he's not. Mm-mm. He espouses right-wing views, and he has endorsed a book by the Cato Institute. Do you know who they are?
Yeah.
The Cato Institute, right-wing fuckers, generally. Well, libertarian fuckers, let's put it that way. Mostly right-wingers, though. This book that he endorsed was about no more corporate crime prosecutions. So, he parades around as someone who cares, who has an ethical perspective on things, who has an ethical perspective on animals. But I think that's marketing, and I think that he can't, I think that not allowing unions to form is also a real problem. And he's a libertarian. He believes in some of this Ayn Rand crap and all of that. So what I'm trying to say here is that I think if we look, this is a new coming wave that's meant really we need to be intelligent consumers about this stuff, because I think what we see is our ethics being marketed back to us, but in a bullshit way. So American Apparel markets to us because we care about sweatshops. Whole Foods markets to us because they think we care about how animals are treated, and we do care about how animals are treated. But at the same time, these companies are doing things that are, in my opinion, competitively nasty and anti-worker. Mm-hmm. So I feel like maybe they're catering to these tiny little ethical positions here and there, or trying to, but I think it's marketing bullshit if they can't go the full way. Otherwise, why bother? Whole Foods becomes just a yuppified place to buy whatever you want, and American Apparel just becomes a t-shirt for hipster kids.
Indeed.
So I just want to, I'm done.
Okay. Well, I was thinking the other day, it seems to me capitalism is supposed to offer all these choices and everything, but it seems to me to be very hard these days to actually have the choices that we want. For example, I want a toothpaste that is vegan, that does not have any animal ingredients, is not tested on animals, none of its ingredients are tested on animals, it's certified, and not owned by some huge conglomerate. And that's tough, and I can only get that on the internet. Right, I have to go buy my Jason toothpaste from Cosmo's Vegan Shop.
Indeed.
And I know I can't find it locally. What I can find locally is Tom's of Maine, who's still vegan, who still does not test on animals, but is owned by Colgate, who does.
Well, I mean, it's the whole structure. The entire structure of the system itself is very difficult. It's very difficult if you want to make change.
Right. And I don't want to buy things that are made in sweatshops, but they keep increasingly become difficult to find.
Yeah, they do.
And, I mean, there are some alternatives out there, places like No Sweat, only buys from union shops.
Right.
So, I mean, you can find them, but it's just so frustrating.
It can be very frustrating. And that's what these businesses are trying to do, is to appeal to that frustration that you're feeling. But they're not being honest
in a pseudo
about
way.
it.
Exactly.
It's not in a way that is going to benefit workers or the environment necessarily. Not as much as it could be. And I feel like if they're going to make the effort, they might as well go all the way. And why be half-assed about it? Why argue that the rights of animals matter and then fucking exploit workers?
Right. Well, because that's what corporations do.
Well, of course
in order to be, they're beholden to the stockholders, and they have to maximize profit at all costs, and therefore some things go by the wayside, such as worker rights.
Well, yeah. Who needs workers' rights anyway? And unions? Shit's for hippies. Let's move on to our voicemails.
Okay.
And no themes. Sorry, you'll have to live without them.
Hey, Bob and Jenna. This is Ashley, future comrade on the forums. Just calling to say hello to you.
Creature comrade. Cool.
Yeah.
Send us some good shit, remember?
Yes, she did. Thank you.
I've got one of the she sends little bowls. They're really cool. I have one on my desk. I have a bunch of buttons in it and some other stuff. Sorry. Thanks.
I'm really enjoying your show. I'm glad that everybody had a wonderful time at Watkins Glen Farm Sanctuary. I just got back at the beginning of August from my internship, my second internship at the one in Orland, California, which was wonderful. I was going to say, though, it's really hard for me to get back to reality around all these people who are non-vegan, and I didn't listen to your podcast while I was there because the computer isn't that fast, but so your show has really helped me with my, I guess, somewhat depressed mental set since I'm not around all these vegan people like I was at the farm. I also wanted to say happy birthday. I guess I probably take your show and your forums for granted sometimes, and they really help me get through sometimes, especially on late nights when I'm up at like 2 in the morning doing homework and spending time on your forums. Also, a couple more things. I wanted to say best of luck to Dino and Steve. I'm very excited for them. And last week's show, Dino was talking about using beets a little bit. And I guess I'm not the biggest fan of beets, but one thing that you can do fun with beets is if you boil them in water until they're soft, then you can put them in your hummus, and you'll get hot pink hummus, which is kind of cool. One last thing, I guess, another last thing. I was wondering, I'm kind of into gardening, and I've been having a really hard time giving my plants the boost that they want with some vegan fertilizer. I was just wondering if anybody had their favorite fertilizers that they use in their gardens that are vegan, because I'm finding out very quickly that it's somewhat difficult to find vegan fertilizer. Thanks a lot for all you guys do. Bye.
Hey. I let it go too far. Sorry. So thanks for that, Creature Comrade. Anyone have a good advice on veganic gardening? Let us know.
Yeah, it's challenging because inorganic fertilizers are vegan, but they're inorganic. And organic fertilizers tend to be animal shit.
Manure. Manure!
I know that there's kelp out there, but it's usually mixed with fish.
Can't you just get you can buy compost in bags.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's composted with manure.
Yeah.
Manure.
So if anybody has tips out there, because we had kind of a brown thumb this summer with all our vegetables. They kind of went...
Yeah, we did. Well,
it was partly the weather.
It's mostly the weather, I think. But we did plant kind of late, too.
We did.
Which is a deadly here.
Yeah.
So thanks for that, Creature Comrade. Glad we could be of help to you. Our goal in doing all this, the forums, the show, everything, is to provide support to vegans.
Yeah. Earlier in the show, I was talking about why people become ex-vegans. And I think it's probably a lot to do with they don't have support. Like, they feel like they're out there all by themselves.
For some people, yeah.
For some people. And I think it's important to at least know one other vegan, even if you only know them online. I think having just somebody else to talk to about your issues, knowing that there are other people going through what you're going through is important. Or listening to our podcast.
Absolutely.
We're your vegan friends, even if we don't know you.
We are your vegan buds. Totally, bro.
So.
All right, moving on.
Hey, vegan freaks. This is Joe from Kansas, a.k.a. the Homo Vegan, from the comment section on your blog and also from the forums.
Oh, yeah.
I was calling to share 3 things with you. First of all, because even though I'm late, I wanted to wish you all a happy birthday to the podcast.
Thanks, Joe.
Secondly, speaking of the podcast, I wanted to give you all major kudos and props for doing the podcast because it's such a wonderful source of support for those of us that live in vegan isolation, so to speak. And it's just really wonderful to have such people who are committed, solidly committed to veganism on the internet, so that, you know, those of us who aren't around vegans and have trouble finding vegan sources for food and such can have a sense of support and know that we're not alone in our struggles.
Absolutely not.
Thirdly, I wanted to commend you for your post on your blog, Why Veganism Isn't Enough. It was right on. It's not enough. We have to approach the enemy from a multifaceted approach, and the enemy is clearly the animal suffering, and we can't just attack factory farming, although that is the biggest one. We also have to attack the fur and ivory trade and the leather trade and all the other ways in which we exploit animals, and laboratory testing, all of that stuff. And I really wanted to commend you for it because it's a right on. We need to work from more than one angle. And fourthly, even though I said I only was going to do 3 things, I'm out driving right now, and it's raining really hard, and I was just passing the local stockyards, and I was thinking how wonderful it would be if it would just continue raining really hard and flood the stockyards and wash them away. It would really be a major plus in my life to see that. I'm going to go ahead and hang up now. Keep the podcast rolling. Y'all are great. Thank you, and have a great day.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks,
That's
Joe.
awesome. We really appreciate everything you had to say. And I'm glad that you like the blog entry, too. You know, I really do feel like everyone has some talent that can be applied to helping fight animal exploitation, and I think everyone should be using it, whatever talent it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep.
If you're an annoying hippie with a guitar, go play your guitar somewhere and sing about animal exploitation.
Or even if it's only giving money to other groups so that they can do more.
Well, that's something.
That's something.
But I think it's important that everybody realize what their talents are and
Yeah.
use them and leverage them.
Yeah.
So thanks for that, Joe. I'm glad we can be some support to you there.
Yeah.
Yep. Right. Who do we have now? Next. Oh, that's from Glitterous.
Happy fucking birthday.
Hey. Oh, yeah. I forgot to also say thanks for all the birthday wishes. Everyone.
Yes. Yeah, I complained enough, and now I get birthday wishes.
Sorry no one called on your birthday, but better late than never. That's how it usually works with my family when they forget. And it's my birthday today, so I know you want to hear from people on your birthday. So happy birthday, lots of vegan love, and thanks so much for doing the podcast and the books and the forums, because you guys kick ass. And I'm going to go vote for y'all on Podcast Alley so that we get way the fuck up there in the popularity again. So everyone should remember to do Podcast Alley too. All right, that's all. Love you, bye. This is Glitterous, by the way. I think I forgot to say.
Thanks, Glitters. And happy belated birthday.
Yeah.
We wished you happy birthday on the forums, but
That's awesome. We really appreciate that. And Podcast Alley does help. And we're
Yes.
coming up on September soon. It's the 27th today. So in September, wait until September.
Yeah.
In September, go vote for us at Podcast Alley. That helps. It brings us up in the rankings, gets people exposed to the show. Whenever we move up on Podcast Alley, we get more subscribers. Not necessarily subscribers who are paying money, because, you know, that's cool.
but
But
people who subscribe on iTunes.
people who subscribe on iTunes and get to know the show and think about veganism. Some people come back to the show. We get a lot of emails from people who are like, I was vegetarian and I kind of listened to your show. Now I went vegan, or I was an omnivore and now I went vegan. So we get a lot of that stuff. So, you know, voting for Podcast Alley helps. And happy birthday. And thank you for Bunny.
Yeah.
Bunny is looking over the studio right now. Well, if Bunny could see, Bunny is looking over the studio. I should take a picture of Bunny and put it up.
You should.
It's our mascot. Okay. So, I
But
think
now it's time to embarrass some of our fellow freaks.
That's absolutely. I think we have a couple drunk ones coming.
Hey, this is Miss Empathy from the farm. The caller from Chicago, Illinois. I'm with Jen Diz and living in Photograph, so here they are. Hi, Bob and Jenna. It's Jen Diz. Hope everything's going great with you guys. Hey, it's my line.
Lip.
Oh, come on.
Oh, Chicago. I was here for work, and I'm letting some dudes cigarettes, but I'm not gay. Not gay.
He wasn't here for work. He's lying. All right, straight. It's just like my cigarette.
I'm straight.
He wasn't here for work. He's lying. All right. That's about it. Bye, guys. Bye. Say bye.
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 Okay, drunk Chicago meetup vegans.
I don't get the I'm not gay thing. What is that all about?
I don't know.
I
think he said something, but it was kind of mumbled. Yeah, muffled, so I didn't hear it.
That's awesome. It sounds like they had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
There were some good pictures on the forums, too.
Indeed.
And we have a drunk Sherbs coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Bob and Jenna. This is Cheryl, otherwise known as Sherbs. I'm calling from the Vegan Freak New Jersey meetup. I just wanted to say hi. And here's everybody else saying hi.
You sound so happy.
Not a lot to say. Just wanted to say that you're awesome, and we love you so much. And if not for you, we wouldn't be here in this big fucking tent orgy.
Orgy.
But anyway, we'll call you again later. Love you. Peace out. Bye.
And another.
Bob and Jenna, this is Vegan Jenna. How you doing?
Holy shit!
Calling you, Dad. We're not drunk though. To tell you about our evening. It's been so fun. We're a little happy now. We just can call you. We're hoping you have a good night, good sleepies. When you wake up tomorrow, you just have a wonderful day.
Dude, you are fucked up. That's awesome. So they had a big meetup in Jersey. Some folks came out from the West Coast and from all over the place. And wish we could have made it there.
Yeah.
Wish we could have.
Indeed. So there are lots of crazy meetups going on in the country. And here, those are the results.
It's good stuff, though.
Yeah.
Do you hear this? Listen. Fucker. Where's my grenade launcher? Fucker. Okay, sorry. The meetups are awesome. So,
Indeed.
And I'm so
They're
happy that we could have some role and bring people together. You know?
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Definitely.
But, I don't know. Good stuff.
Yeah.
So,
I think we're all talked out.
I am. I'm feeling like, let's play a little. Let's
What?
Hey, Bob and Jenna, I'm a vegan freak and you are too.
So awesome. Liam's such an awesome little vegan kid.
Jenna, I'm a vegan freak and you are too.
There we go. He's right, though.
He is.
We are vegan freaks.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, we'll be back again next week. We're going to do another show on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And, get in touch with us. Podcast@veganfreak.com. You can go to our website at podcast.veganfreak.com. Call our voicemail line, 267-295-1944. Send us cash, love, presents, candy, baked goods. P.O. Box 276, Colton, COLTO, New York, 13625, USA. USA! I hate that.
Oh, and we got a shipment of buttons in, so I'm going to be sending some out this week.
Yeah, if you're a subscriber and you've not gotten a button, email Jenna, not me, Jenna, 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 at podcast@veganfreak.com for your button.
Yeah, and as Glitter said, vote for us at Podcast Alley come September.
Absolutely. And you can always subscribe and get access to subscriber podcasts. So that's on our site at podcast@veganfreak.com. So thanks for listening again. We'll be back next week with more vegan news, information, opinion, commentary, and offensive language.
Indeed.
And I probably alienated half of our audience, but what can I do?
If you don't agree with us, it's okay.
It is okay. We don't have to agree
100%.
We can all still love each other and disagree.
Yes.
We can agree to disagree on certain things. You know? And we love you all. So.
Till next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, what